Walking down the street, trying to look for something to eat, but I need a podcast. Need a good podcast, tells me all the heavy metal and hard rock news. Need something that's intelligent and smart, but gives me the business on what's happening in the heavy metal news. But I don't know what to do. Then somebody says, might have been a hobo by the garbage, said, you gotta listen to Shane. Jive Talkin with Shane. You got a bottle of wine, sir, for that great information that I gave you. Jive Talkin with Shane. Right. Welcome one and all back with the first episode after I missed a week. If you've been paying attention to this at all, this episode is dedicated to Mama Diablo. She has passed on. My mother, my sweet beloved mother. She was a nightmare. She was a train wreck. She was also a great and wonderful person. She has passed away. I had to miss the last podcast because we had to go unplug Mom. It's never something that you really want to do, but she did have a lot of health problems and some issues that she struggled with for 35 years and never quite beat. So this podcast is dedicated to her. I'm itching my leg over here. This is dedicated to her. We love you, Mama. Mama Diablo, we wish you all the best. She has traveled off to Vector 7, the cosmos. She is now one with it all, and probably a hell of a lot happier now than what she was, the kind of lifestyle and such that she ended up with there at the very end. But we wish her the very best. We love her. Holding the hand the whole way through it, I was right there holding her wrist, and I did feel a couple of squeezes in there, but we had to just turn it off, and we got that call from the doctor, and it was like, well, it's that time. So rest in peace to my dear, sweet, and loving mother, and may she be traveling the stars with all of her favorite things, and well, maybe not some of her favorite things. Some of her favorite things are probably still illegal in other parts of the universe. But that aside, this one's for you, Mama. We love you. Welcome back to another episode of Jive Talkin, Shane Diablo's Jive Talkin. This is episode 160. 160. We've got a cavalcade of stories. You're seeing this guy right here. That's Billy fucking Biohazard, okay? That's fucking Billy Biohazard. We got a lot of interesting stories and fun nuggets up for this episode, so I would ask you to sit down or relax, breathe deep, forget about your worries and stresses of the day, the week, the month, the year. Be with me, be here now in the moment with me, and let's enjoy this podcast together. Anytime that you're listening to it, this might be 2026 when you're hearing this, but you're going, yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. So let's do that. This is a no request zone. Now, over in the comments, there is what some may consider a request in your comments that I read at the end of every episode. But I'm going to say it's not. It's a suggestion, but it's not necessarily a request. But we got your comments, a lot of fun stories. We're going to get right into it. Nobody likes to have Lars Ulrich turn their back on him. Especially when you're trying to tell your fucking friends, hey, there's my buddy Lars, he's coming over here, and he kind of got snubbed, old Billy Biohazard, and he had to put Metallica's Lars Ulrich in check. So I wanted to read that story and find out exactly what happened. It just basically, I just got that little synopsis that said that he had to check him because he wanted to say, hey, what's up? I'm Billy fucking Biohazard. That's fucking the drummer for the biggest heavy metal band in the world. When I say hello to him, he's going to fucking say, how you doing? So let's get into that right now. Does that sound fun? Let's do it. Did he just get out of the penitentiary? He's got that orange jacket on. Of course, his name's Billy Graziati, but we call him Billy Biohazard. That's what he's been for 35 years. Billy Biohazard recalls having to put Metallica's Lars Ulrich in check. And Biohazard, do you want to be the dudes? Do you want to be the guys that, you don't piss off Biohazard? They're the ones that say, I can't deny reality, and life gets smutted. That evidence stuff. Let's do it. In a new interview with radioactive Mike Z, host of 96.7 KCAL-FM on your FM dial, programmed Wired in the Empire, Biohazard guitarist, vocalist Billy Graziati recounted a funny story involving Metallica's drummer Lars Ulrich. He said, is transcribed by Blabbermouth. So, pretty much every band knows when you meet a band and you're like, oh, it would be great to tour with these guys. I would love to open for them. You got to treat that in a very delicate way. Or don't give a fuck, huh? But if you meet somebody in a band and that's your ideal band that you want to tour with, you got to go out of your way to say hello. Be cool, be cordial. You pay for the beers. I must say it, you pay for the beers. Or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying kiss their ass. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying buy them a couple of beers. I'm not saying kissing any ass cheeks or anything like that. But there's the right way to handle it. And the wrong way to handle it. So he set that up like a... When the guy asked the question, he set that up so beautifully that now you're hanging on the edge of your seat. That was a great synopsis to start a story. It was almost like The Moth or something like that. Some kind of a storytelling podcast that you'd listen to. The way he set that up, perfect. Billy continued. Okay, so some friends of mine had some spot in Manhattan. Okay, we was up there in the high end with the important people in Manhattan, and it was a pretty happening spot. But I'm outside talking to the security dudes because I'm a down-to-earth guy, and the owners. And we're all young kids. They're buddies of mine. Okay. So Lars walks up. He's got maybe an entourage of, 10 people. And one of the owners says, hey, yo, you know Lars. Can you introduce us? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So Lars walks by, and I'm like, yo, what's up, brother? He looks at me, kind of nods his head and says, yeah, hi, and walks right past me. So, as a New Yorkers, my buddies were busting my big and juicies, my balls. They were busting my balls. They're like, you don't know him. I'm like, I do know him. And he fucking knows me. So I rushed. I walked in the club. I walk up the stairs, the VIP, in the VIP area. And I pushed through to him and his people. And I sit right down next to him. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know who I am. This is getting stalkery now, Billy. This is getting a bit stockish. Yo, what the fuck? You know who I am. I said, you made me like an idiot. You made me like an idiot in front of my buddies. My pals. That's my neighborhood buddies over there. And you made me feel like a ding dong with them. I said, you know me, Billy from Biohazard. He goes, oh, I didn't recognize your hair. I'm like, it's always blonde, dude. Oh, he says, oh, I didn't recognize your hair. I'm like, it's always blonde, dude. That's my thing. It's like Dimebag with his red beard. Thought it was pink beard. Maybe that's when it just gets sweaty during the rock concerts. It turns a bit more pinkish hue. But this red beard, it's my trademark. My blonde hair. It's like Dimebag with his red beard. So, to make a long story short, he kind of motioned over to one of his friends. She comes and sits down next to me. She's like, what band do you play with? I said, fucking Biohazard, baby. Biohazard, sweet cheeks. She said, oh, you guys are fucking heavy. Cool. And blah, 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 blah. That was it. The next morning, I get a call from my manager. Scott Koenig. Rest in peace to his sweet soul. Did you have to unplug him? Rest in peace, he said to me. Hey, I heard you bumped into Lars Ulrich last night. I'm like, yeah. Oh, here he goes. He's going to bust my balls. I thought Scott was rest in peace. I thought he was going to bust my tatus. What did it say? Where is he? And so I started telling the story. And I was cool with Lars. I just basically stood up to him and I said, hey, you know me. Don't act like you don't know me. Them East Coast, them New York guys, they're like that, right? Hey, you fucking know me. Don't you act like you don't know me. You got to do that all day long. You're walking down the street, you pass the bodega. Hey, motherfucker, you know me. Shit, don't be walking by. You're like, oh, shit, sorry. Start walking again. Hey, what are you, newspaper stand? Hey, what the fuck are you doing, Donnie? You know me. It's like all day long you got to do that. Yes, I know you. That's why you got to be more into, looking at people. Don't walk with your earbuds down, staring at the ground, rocking out to some great song that you want to just listen to and not be bothered. You got to look around and shake your head and nod and wave at people. Yo, he's going to bust my balls. Oh, Scott's going to bust my balls. So I started telling him the story. And I was cool with Lars. I just basically stood up and I said, hey, you know me, don't act like you don't know me, especially in front of my friends in New York. Well, they're going to bust my balls. So sure enough, I start telling the story. He interrupts me. And he says, well, I don't know what happened when you said I don't know what happened or what you said or how you handled it, but they want to take you on tour. Metallica wants to take you on tour, bro? That's good. That's a good news. But they want to take you on tour. And I pretty much dropped the phone. I dropped the phone. And I was like, yo, I picked the phone back up. I said, yo, what? Oh, wait, hold on, guys, hold on. And I pretty much dropped the phone. So he said, yo, what? To the sky. And then he picked up the phone because it says, and I pretty much dropped the phone and I was like, yo, what? And then I picked up the phone. He says, that's right, you numbskull, they want to take us on tour. Fucking Metallica. Amazing. Billy added, so, word to the wise. I got a couple of wise words for you. You want to treat people always with respect, no matter who you are. I don't care if you're the garbage man or the president. You cool with me? You get my respect. And that's it. But you've always got to stand up for yourself. And I think Lars just respected the fact that I wasn't afraid to tell him, yo, I had to put him in check in a respectful kind of manner and way. Like when I pushed through that crowd of people he was with and I sat myself down at his table right next to him. That's how you get business done. Earlier this month, the reunited classic lineup of Biohazard entered Shorefire Recording Studios in Long Branch, New Jersey to begin recording its long-awaited new album for a 2025 release via Frontier Label Group. That's not the same as Frontier Records, right? Because they do a lot of just straight kind of hard rock, melodic rock. Frontier's Label Group. It's new imprint. I don't know what that is. Black to Black? I don't know. BLK? IIBLK? I don't know what that is. The first reunion gig for Graziati, guitarist Bobby Hambell. I think Bobby Hambell was the fella that I saw Biohazard with Slayer and Machine Head. And I want to say Bobby Hamble, when I was looking at him as a young fellow, I was like, that's a fucking dude who's lived a life, man. He's done a little diddle-dabble of everything, if you get my drift. But I could be wrong. Drummer Danny Schuler and bassist vocalist Evan Seinfeld took place on May 26, 2023 at the Milwaukee Metal Fest at the Rave Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So there you have that. Joey Belladonna had to work on a farm. When he wasn't in Anthrax, he worked in a horse barn. So all of you people out there that think being in the Big Four means that they're all millionaires, well, Joey ain't. Now, Charlie and Scott might, but Joey ain't. And who's Joey? He's our favorite. He can sing Journey songs. He's a great Journey singer, but he's also the lead singer for Anthrax. They had that other guy in there for a little bit, but they kicked him out and got Joey back because they knew what was right and wrong. Joey Belladonna says he worked in a horse barn during his time away from Anthrax. Nothing makes you want to get back in Anthrax more than combing a horse, right? Re-shoeing a horse. And you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I should be on stage singing Caught in the Mosh. Let's see what it says. In a new interview with Kat Rausch of Music Interview Corner, Joey Belladonna reflected on his time away from Anthrax during most of the 1990s and early 2000s. The singer said, well, for me to be out of the band for that long, it's almost too long. It was unexpected and it wasn't my idea. And I wouldn't have preferred it. But it happened. It did happen. And I just maintained myself. Through exercise and a good positive mental attitude, well, I'll tell you what. Calm a horse. You want to feel at one and calm and just one of those beautiful beasts, magnificent animal, and you just sitting there combing it. That's probably pretty, it's probably pretty sweet. I was just thinking, though, you're sitting there just combing that horse and just going, oh, my God, and then it just drops a big load. Kaplow! And you're like, well, there goes that peace and quiet. And I just had to maintain myself, quite frankly. I was actually working in a horse barn for a couple of years. I was in maintenance. Oh, so you didn't even get to stroke the horse? And Krista, my wife, we both worked at a pretty famous writer's facility. I cut grass all day. You were the lawnmower? You never got to stroke that horse? They keep the help like that, the lawn care help, far away from the animals. And Joey goes over to ask his wife, can I pet the horse? She says, you can't be over here, Joey. You got to be over there pulling weeds. My wife, we both worked at a pretty famous writer's facility. I cut grass all day. It was so big there, I couldn't complete all my work each day. It was a long, long day. It took me 2-3 days to weedy the whole place. You ain't got no time for no horses. And imagine some highfalutin somebody comes through there and goes, hey, isn't that old Joey Belladonna riding the lawnmower over there? Like James Hetfield going for his riding lessons or something, I'm surprised they didn't just pack up the whole band and go, let's go down there and take a ride on some horses and wave at Joey. A lot of people don't realize that you would even do that. I didn't really necessarily have to do that job. It was one of the, so he's all right. Or are you just saying that you didn't? I didn't really have to do it. Did you squirrel away some stuff? Some money? It was one of those things that fell into place, and I enjoyed it. And I got a lot of experience from it. But I also had a band. I was doing some cover music with, it's a 3-name band. What's it called? Big King Head. Something like that. Sorry, guys. I was playing drums. Really? Oh, yes, that's right. He's a drummer, too. He's great at everything, this guy. But I also had a band. I was doing some cover music, and I was playing drums. And it was kind of like the old days for me. So I just continued to do that and work on some original music and stuff. I kept myself busy. I didn't really fall apart mentally. I kept busy, and I just waited for some time. And all of a sudden, I'd come back. So here I am. So what they did, now tell me if I'm right, is Scott Ian in the 2000s or the late 90s or whatever it was, decided that they wanted to have a singer that was different than Joey Belladonna because they wanted to reach a new fan base or something, and then they realized that was an extremely bad idea. Oh, my love. Belladonna, whose most recent return to Anthrax was officially announced in May of 2010, so he's been back 14, almost 15 years. And Happy New Year, by the way, because that's going to happen before next week. May 2010 was originally the lead singer of Anthrax from 1984 to 1992. Get yourself a Diet Coke if you know who the first singer for Anthrax was. And was considered part of the influential thrash metal group's classic lineup alongside Dan Spitz, who's a watchmaker. Scott Ian, who's married to Meatloaf's daughter. Frank Bello, who literally just sat in with Satyricon, the black metal band. And drummer Charlie Benante, whom created each and every drum beat that you have heard Vinnie Paul play with Pantera. Vinnie used to steal and watch things that Charlie did and then implemented all those. So it's perfect that Charlie Benante is back in Pantera, which reunited and toured during 2005 and 2006. His voice was featured on over 10 albums, which reportedly sold 8 million copies worldwide. During an appearance on a November 2023 episode of the Chuck Shoot podcast, Belladonna who was fired from Anthrax twice before rejoining his bandmates now, he responded, not necessarily. I mean, look, everything you do in a band, I want it to be fun. I want to be there every day. Wake up each day and not walk on eggshells and feel like people are really not looking at you the right way. That kind of stinks. The best way to cure that is when they're begging you to come back to the band. You're not walking on eggshells anymore. Because as soon as they said, you gotta come back, dude, we are flailing over here. It's not good. You gotta come back. The eggshells go away. They're like, yes, Joey. Oh, that's a great idea, Joey. I want it to be fun. I want to be there every day, wake up, not walk on eggshells. And feel like people are not really looking at you the right way. That kind of stinks. I know everybody got their own individualities now. They all roll in their own path of success individually, which, I mean, I do my own thing. Big Chief way. And Journey. But I don't really care as much like that. But there also is a point in time where if you're on a team, you want the other guys to do his part and feel like he's done a whole lot for you too, just as well, and helps you carry through. That sounds weird to me the way I said that. Without being like, whatever, it's just part of what we do. I don't want it that way. I hate it. I hate that part. Where we're like, we must carry on because it's the only thing we've got. That's a good way to hate that. But we are a band that's tight and it works great. And why not? Find a way, figure it out, try to do something that's going to be long lasting and enjoy what you have and understand that it is this is a great situation to be in where you've got 4 out of 5 people that are really capable of doing everything they can do musically and live. It's quite good. I mean, even the new Anthrax stuff we are working on right now, without even really describing it, because it's top secret, it's as good as it gets. It really is. What a swell guy. Yeah, you're not on eggshells no more, buddy. They'll hold on to you. They won't do that again. They won't make that blunder. Regarding the fact that he was fired twice by Anthrax, Belladonna said, yeah, it just seems rotten. And I don't even know what to say. Every time I say something like that, it's always this bitter vibe. But it's the truth. You know what I mean? What else am I supposed to say? I mean, is there a better story? I wish I had one. I don't. Because he just got fired. And it's a rotten damn thing that they did to you, Joey. But you're back now. Joey, who joined forces with his longtime replacement, John Bush, for a cover of the Temptations' classic Ball of Confusion. What's that tune? Do we dare look it up? Ball of Confusion. You're not going to hear any of this if... Oh, I didn't think it was going to start that way. I don't know what the hell that is. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Okay. I don't know what that was. I don't think I've ever heard that song, but that's what it was. A Ball of Confusion. Can you imagine them singing that? A 1, 2, a ball of confusion set you free. Now I got to hear that. Where's that at? Return of the Killer at A's? Guys, I'm all over the place today. My mother passed away. How dare you say? He's a little flighty. He's not on it like he usually is. My mother passed. You need to give me a break. John Bush covering the Temptations' classic Ball of Confusion for an Anthrax Greatest Hits, Return of the Killer A's. That vaguely sounds familiar to me, which came out in 1999. Said that the experience of recording with his then former band was totally weird. I remember listening to the Temptations song Ball of Confusion. Of all things, I said, why not? I'll come in, but yeah, it's weird. It was strange. I mean, it was my favorite. It wasn't my favorite idea in the song or just being there because I'm not in the band still. But aside from that, obviously the whole thing that follows me everywhere I go. The whole thing follows me everywhere I go. Because they keep asking him about it getting fired. Nobody likes to talk about the time they got fired from a job, and I'd like to hear about that in the comments, if you could put it down there. But aside from that, obviously, the whole thing that follows me everywhere I go, and I'm out of the band. What happened? I didn't even get any leg up for that, and it still follows me. I can't shake it away, because it's in fine print. Asked if he carries resentment or anger towards his bandmates. That's the real meaty bits that we want. Joey says, I don't forget. I can't forget. I carry on with it. I've been doing it. How long have I been back in the band now? 11, 12, 13 years now? On top of it. Things are good. But you know what? It's like anything else. It's still there. And I think everybody is trying to be sincere. Yep, no more eggshells. And hopefully they are sincere. I don't need a lot of pats on the back because I do my thing. It does suck that I felt like I didn't live up to the dream that was there. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I thought I was doing great. And you were, Joey. You were. They made a horrible blunder. Annihilator guitar player. We do have Megadeth coming up. Timu is going to tell us about the great new songs that they're writing, but I found this very interesting. Jeff Waters, Annihilator. He says that Alice in Hell, the album, influenced Megadeth's Rust in Peace. I want to find out more about that. Annihilator guitarist Jeff Waters. Canadian rock, Canadian thrash band. Annihilator guitarist Jeff Waters recently answered a number of fan-submitted questions for a Q&A video series for the Rock Commander YouTube channel. He reflected on his past projects, shared insight on his upcoming trilogy albums, and teased what's next. Plus, hear how he's bringing his music into the gaming world. That's fun. Starring as a playable character with his own game mode in Rock Commander. Is that a video game, Rock Commander? Asked if he thinks Annihilator, so don't set him up with the question, Rock Commander. With a yes and no, you don't do that. So do you think your album... No. Asked if Annihilator's debut album 1989's Alice in Hell influenced Megadeth's classic 4th LP. See, that just doesn't... Those timelines right? That's wrong, right? Rust in Peace? That wasn't 1989, was it? Megadeth's classic 4th LP, Rust in Peace, which came out a year later, so in 1990. Waters said his transcribe. Okay, so Dave Ellefson and Dave Mustaine, the Megadeth guys, not all of them, but some of them, have been my friends for a while. And I talked to Dave Mustaine ever since 1989. He asked me to join the band in 1989. I didn't. And they went on to do amazing things. Rust in Peace with Marty Friedman. And they went on to do great, amazing things. Rust in Peace with guitar player Marty Friedman. And we continued touring with Testament and doing our first record. But yeah, you're saying you hear some Alice in Hell in the Rust in Peace album? Is that what I'm hearing from your tender ears? Is that what you're hearing? So there is absolute truth to that, believe it or not. So first we're going into this thinking Jeff Waters is a liar, but now he's saying there's absolute truth in it. You can see that right where I'm going over it with my thing. Absolute truth to that. So let's find out. A lot of Megadeth fans don't realize it. They don't even realize it, is that Dave Ellefson had told, I guess, Blabbermouth, the online metal news place, news source for all heavy metal news, years ago, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I'm not sure when, okay, that while Megadeth was driving to the rehearsal and writing the record for Rust in Peace, the Rust in Peace Megadeth album, they would listen to Annihilator's Alice in Hell and sing it and drive to the studio every day listening to that record. Okay, Jeff, I'm going to tell you something right now. This is going to offend you in kind of a way. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Annihilator now. And I thought they were okay back then. But one of the biggest goofs was Alice in Hell. Everyone I knew around that time period would go, whatever you do, it was a joke. What are you going to do? You got to put on Alice in Hell. So I'm wondering if Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson are in the vehicle going, Alice in Hell. And they're going, that's funny. It's a great song now, but at the time I put the equivalent of that song to Nothing Else Matters. It's a great song. You love it now, and you've loved it for so long that you now hate it again. But I was laughing out loud when I heard Nothing Else Matters, and we played that back and forth over and over and over again, and laughed and laughed and laughed. But I'm not here to hurt people's feelings. I'm here to read the news. So, I had always heard that Rust in Peace album and thought it was awesome, and Marty Friedman was doing the amazing guitar solos, but I always thought there's some parts of Marty Friedman where you hear a blues style, because he's not a blues guitarist. He has blues and many other styles, but he had a little blues stuff in his solos, and I always thought that maybe he and I had the same influence. And David Ellefson and Nick Menza said that, no. We listened to your stuff for a whole year on the way to those sessions. So I was like, hang on. Hold on, David. Wait, what? I was like a 20-year-old kid, and I had a little influence on your best album? So that I can say now, it's true. And you can even go, and if you've got his number or a text or an email or his social medias, you can ask Dave Ellefson or any of those guys. So I will take some credit in the sense that I'm honored that they would be listening and singing my music on the way to record their music and write their music. Fucking awesome. Yeah. That'll go down as my top 10 thing in my life that was really cool. It's the top 10 things in my life that are really cool. Do you have a top 10 things in your life that are really cool? I mean, I feel like, how about them orbs? Those are cool. Plasmoids. That's pretty cool. Things in my life. Get in the comments. I want to read all your things in your life that are pretty cool. Let's move on. Guys, are you getting sick of me yet? Let's go. Let's move on. Very handsome man here. Got my itchy ears. Have a drink of this. Very handsome man here. This is Timu Montessori, and he is the replacement guitar player and very happy member now. I'm proud to say that. Very happy member of Megadeth after Kiko Loureiro had to go home to his family and be there. And then he said, yeah, I don't want to be in your band no more. They got Timu in the band, and everything, all signs are pointing to happiness from everyone. We've done stories about Dave Mustaine saying, my heavens, we love him over here. And at first we thought they were stories just to hurt Kiko's feelings. But it's not. It's because they really, really, really do love him and want him in the band. Did you have a holly jolly Christmas? Can you get in the comments and tell me about your holly jolly Christmas? Was it the best time of the year? Did you have the snow and a cup of joe? Doesn't it say that? Have some snow, a cup of joe, and a cheer. Timu says, we have already so many good ideas. We have already so many good ideas. In a new interview with Megadeth Digital. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Megadeth have some kind of a podcast that they call Megadeth Digital and I haven't tuned into it? Megadeth guitarist Timu Montessori offered an update on the progress of the songwriting sessions for the band's upcoming follow-up to the 2022 The Sick, The Dying, and the Dead. And not to go off topic again, guys, but I know a little bit about this. I want to give a shout out to that hospital. They were absolutely amazing. Every nurse, every doctor, everything. Down to every detail was just like, because, you don't know what to do with that stuff. I don't know pardon me for not being on the ball with death. But I'm really taking the steam out of this, ain't I? And someone's going to say, Shane, you mustn't, you just cremated your dear sweet mother. you don't be just making jokes about the sick, the dying, and the dead and stuff. You don't do that right now. It's too fresh. Oh my goodness, it feels really good at the moment. Yeah, we've been working remotely. So Dave Mustaine, Megadeth leader, is in the studio in Nashville, Tennessee. And I've been working from home and now from my vacation location. I am working my vocation on vacation location, where we are with the family, my beautiful family, very wonderful, beautiful people whom I love. But I'm working a little bit every day. I try to, have 1 to 2 hours where I say, this is my time for my vocation. Not for the vocation, or the vacation, but for my vocation. But I'm working a little bit every day, and I just, today, I was working on some solo ideas, and I'm talking with Dave on the phone every day, and doing some Zoom meetings, and exchanging ideas. So there's progress every day, which is nice. I feel really good about the album. We have already so many good ideas. I think it's going to be a great one. Teemu, who made his live debut with Megadeth more than a year ago, also talked about the evolution of the band's live performance since he joined the group. He said, well, of course. Now, knowing these guys more on a personal level, it makes everything a little bit more, instinctive on a stage as well. So you kind of know what the guys are doing, like James Lomenzo. You just got to watch him a couple of times and you'll say, oh, we know what we're doing. But don't you steal his pelvic thrusts or whatever his trademark move is on stage. The guys, the guys are doing, and you don't have to think that much anymore about it. Because, but honestly, it didn't feel like really relaxed from the get-go. It did, Shane. It did. You're trying to say that it didn't. When I'm trying to tell you, it did feel like really relaxed and from the get-go. For the first show on. But yeah, getting to know the guys better and better. So it's just more fun. Has Dave Mustaine bought Teemu a jiu-jitsu gi? Remember, he got old Kiko in one. You're gonna do jiu-jitsu with me, Kiko. And now he's not there, so he's got to get Teemu in there so he can get him all wrapped up in one of them pretzel rolls. Just so you know who the boss is, I'm going to put you in a pretzel roll. During a December 2022 chat on X Space. Oh, is that just the X website? X Space. Mustaine stated about the band's upcoming LP. Well, right now I'm in the studio working with the engineer, Chris Rakestraw, and everybody else is gone. Teemu's in Switzerland, and James Lomenzo, fantastic Megadeth bass player, dare I say, and Derek Verburen, Megadeth drummer, are in Los Angeles. So it's just me here by my lonely with Chris. And Chris leaves tomorrow to go on vacation. And I'm working up to the last second today to get as much done because you want to go on vacation too, Dave. Yeah, I'm working up to the last second today to get as much done as I can before he takes off, because we won't be starting again until he returns. Somewhere around New Year's Day. And at that point, again, until he returns somewhere around New Year's Day, at that point, oh, there I go again. At that point, it's only a matter of a couple of weeks before everybody converges onto the studio. And for that, I'm pumped. And you guys are going to be excited. You have to say that about every record, though, right? Every record you put out, you got to go, This one's the best. And you guys are going to be so excited about this. And maybe we will. You know, you can't read a mind, can you? Regarding what it has been like being back in the studio. Wait a minute, I'm starting to think about something. So technically that story was completely wrong about Joey Belladonna. He didn't even work nowhere near a barn. Why did he say he worked in a horse barn when he was just mowing the lawns? It's all gravel and dirt and tumbleweeds around a barn. You got to go out to get the grasses. Anyways, regarding what it was been like back in the studio, Dave said, well, it's been frustrating because I want to be farther along than I am right now. But that's quite all right. When you write original music, you always got to start at the first step. I love that. You got to start with the first step, and that's what I've been doing my whole career. So before we did this, I had all four of us listen to the entire catalog, and Alice in Hell, probably. Every single song, 205 songs, and I wanted to make sure that they knew the chord progressions, lyrics, patterns, all kinds of stuff like that. So that they would hear tempos and starts and stops and everything to help them be able to songwrite and contribute also. And it's been really great because Timu is contributing. Dirk is contributing. Like last time, James contributed back in the day. And he's got more stuff coming on this record. There you go. He's opening the door up. It's never too late to open the door and let people in. It's never too late. And he might want to be a song hog and write all the songs and stuff, but you know, you got to give a little and let him have a try at it. Oh, it was funny because sometimes when you think, now I don't really know that riff is that good. If that riff is that good, and then you go back and you listen to it in another day and say, yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, you already listened to it and you didn't like it. What? That kind of thing. And he's not wrong. You know, you get in the studio and you go, or in your band rehearsal, if you perform in some kind of a local band or an indie band, sign band, independent band, you get in the room, you rock something out, you're feeling pretty good about it. You go back the next week or the next day or whenever you practice again, and you argue over someone not paying their fucking band rent, and you got a lock on the door, and you can't get in there yet because you got to have all the rent. So someone coughs up the extra money to open the door up. They come and take the lock off. It's almost like a boot. At my old band room, they had these they go right over the doorknob so you couldn't unlock it, like a boot for a car or something. And then you go in there and then you write a kick-ass riff, but then when you try it again, you go, it just doesn't have the same sting that it did. And so you move on. So we went through a bunch of riffs over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so far, we've got some really great ideas we're working on. Rakestraw is a producer, mixer, and engineer who previously worked on Megadeth's last two albums, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, and 2016's Dystopia. This past September, Timu, who joined the band as the replacement for Kiko Loureiro, was asked by Meltdown of Detroit's WRIF radio station about the progress of the songwriting sessions of the Megadeth's next LP. He said, yes, actually already, while back Dave started talking about the next album and the kind of starting to do the pre-production. And so as he mentioned that, and kind of before that already, once it was clear that I'm going to be staying with the band, then I kind of started putting my ideas down and just recording any riff ideas and that I could feel like I could, do something that could be used in the Megadeth. And now I have a bunch of riffs and ideas. My mind is chock full of ideas.
that I've gathered. And then Dave told me that he likes to work the way that he likes to work. Dave told me he likes to work the way that everybody does their riffs. And then at some point, we're going to get together and then review things and see which riffs are going to work together and then work out the parts between the riffs to kind of connect things.
Are you saying write a song? Is that what he's coming at? That's how, it literally sounds like that's how you put a song together.
Which riffs are going to work together and then work out the parts between the riffs to kind of connect things and then that way come up with the skeletons of the song. And I'm really looking forward to doing this. Doing that and hearing now he feels about the, hearing how Dave feels about my ideas as well.
Tim Ripper Owens, let's get into him. I don't know what he's going to say here, guys. We've got Tim Ripper Owens. Then very briefly, Gene Simmons is going to tell us if Kiss would have been as successful as they were if they never wore makeup. The answer to that is no. But Tim Ripper Owens, I saw this headline and I said, what's he going to say about Yngwie Malmsteen? Because you don't say bad things about him. That guy comes for attack. That's what I've heard anyways. I ain't got a bad beef with Yngwie. Okay? I don't know him. But I'll tell you right now, I ain't got no beef with him. But I want to know what old Ripper, the Rip Man, says. I don't think there are any misconceptions about Yngwie. Now, what could that be? That he's not a good guitar player? That would be a misconception. Of course, he's an amazing guitar player. So what is he on about? We don't know until I start reading. Unless you've already read this story. And I hope you haven't, but that's fine if you have. In a new interview with Australia Here to Zen, former Judas Priest singer Tim Ripper Owens, who recorded 2 albums with Yngwie Malmsteen, he did. Oh, this is going to be a sweet piece then. How did I not know that Ripper Owens did 2 albums with him? 2008's Perpetual Flame and 2010's Relentless was asked what the biggest misconception is about the legendary Swedish guitarist. Tim responded in the only way that Tim can, as transcribed by Blabbermouth. Well, Yngwie does treat people really bad. Oh, one thing I like about old Ripper Owens is he'll tell you what's on his mind. And he just started that off in a way that I think I might like, or I might find interesting. Not like so much. Well, Yngwie does treat people real bad. I mean, as a whole. But he's never treated me bad. That's because he was afraid of fisticuffs. He thought that you might not put up with his shenanigans the way other people might. I got along with him very well. I got along with Yngwie great. He would joke, and he was one of the easiest guys I've ever worked with in the studio. I think he has his moments, and he doesn't please don't ever put a white light on during a show, or he'll stop it and yell at the light man or attack the keyboard player during the night if he did something wrong. Really? But I'll tell you my experience with him, and that was the only time I saw him go at somebody. But yeah, I got along with him great. So he went after the keyboard player. Can we find that video, someone, please? I don't think there is any misconceptions about him. I think what people think about him is probably the truth. But that doesn't mean he's like that to everybody. I had a great experience with him. He was sober when I was in the band. That said, sometimes the band wasn't allowed to even be in the dressing room. We'd have to be sitting in the closet. Well, that's rude. Because he thinks he's the star of the show. You guys got to stand in the closet and wait for him to knock on it and go, "Und fellows, it is time for the rocking now. Remember, stay in your zone and your positions." Obviously, he's kind of thrown all this. He's kind of thrown all of the singers under the bus since I left the band, which was odd. I quit the band, and I didn't even announce that I quit the band. I didn't even announce it. I just quit and stepped away because I was getting busy doing solo shows. And I felt like he needed to find another singer, but I don't talk bad about him. My experience was good. He could be a very, very pleasant guy and funny. I was just telling a story the other day. Yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I was doing an interview I was doing interviews about singing in a studio with Yngwie. And I'd be like, let me do it again. I would do a take. I'd go, what do I think? I'd say. Why would you say that? What do I think? I'd say. I think I could do it again. Oh, you're just giving yourself a pep talk, just telling yourself you could do it. And I'd ask myself, what do I think I could do it again? Let me do it again. I think I could do it again. Let me do it better. Yeah, personal, yeah. He goes,
No. That is good. That's good. We don't want to do it too many times. I think you got it. That was good enough.
He was so easy in the studio, and it's funny coming from the guy famously says his philosophy about music is more, but it wasn't with me. That's because you could sing him in one shot. That's what you're trying to do. Give yourself a little compliment on the back. Say, I only sang them one time, and he loved it. So I only had to do it one time. From the guy that's famously philosophy more is more, but it wasn't with me. He just like, yeah, you got it, dude. You nailed it, dude. Let's just move on. When the interviewer recounted a recent pleasant encounter with Yngwie in Australia, I was at a walkabout, mate. Let me tell you what I went between these two gulliby trees. And he popped his head right outside the way there, right next to a kangaroo. It was Yngwie Malmsteen. After initially being told the guitarist tour manager that he couldn't talk to Malmsteen, Tim said, there's times you might not want to talk to people. I don't know what that had to do with anything. When the interviewer recounted a recent pleasant encounter with Yngwie in Australia after initially being told the guitarist's tour manager that he couldn't talk to Malmsteen. So the Australian guy is telling Tim Ripper Owens about the time that he could not do an interview with him. There's times you might not want to talk to people. I'm not the most talkative before a show, but I would never in my life ever have somebody tell somebody you can't talk to him. And I think it's because there's times where Yngwie gonna be he's got to get in the zone, or might not want to talk to somebody. Listen, he's not a Ronnie James Dio with his fans. What did Ronnie James Dio was he mean? Was Ronnie James Dio a bastard? Maybe he's going to tell us. Listen, he's no Ronnie James Dio with his fans. He's not going to come out of the bus to sign something. He might not even... Oh, okay, so he's saying Ronnie James Dio was a sweet boy. He might not even sign it if they send it on to the bus. But that's all right. Why would you do something that rude? Somebody brings something for you to sign on the tour bus and you go, I'm not going to sign that. Don't be a damn bastard all the time. Back in 2015, Owens told the Josta Show with Jamie Josta that he quit Malmsteen's band because he kept asking me to do shows and I was already booked to do a solo show. I just didn't have the time to do it. I thought he could get some young kid that could blow me away, pay the kid $500 a week on tour and be happy with it. Yep, that's what they try to do. And make the show better. How much is he? I wonder what old Ripper gets per show. Tim also didn't rule out working with Yngwie again, saying I'd maybe do a record with him again and maybe a quick tour, but I just couldn't fit in the closet. No. He says, but I just couldn't fit it in. He was talking about his solo tour dates. He will never go back into the closet, you guys. If he ever does a record with Yngwie again, he will demand, I get my own dressing room. I'm not going to sit in the closet with you. We're almost into your comments, guys, and the good news, there's only about 8 of them. I thought it would be chock full, considering there was 2-week delay there, but nevertheless, there he is. That's the demon. Tongue gets shorter as he gets older, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like it's lost a lot of, what do they say about old faces? Your ears get bigger, your nose gets bigger, maybe the chin gets bigger so the tongue doesn't dangle quite as frothy and healthy as it was. Would Kiss, now the simple answer here to this story should be no. Would Kiss have had the same impact without the makeup? Gene Simmons weighs in. Now, there's only one answer to this. No. It's just not going to happen. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, my bladder is filling up. It is. But I'm going to strive and make it through. In a new interview with Michael Franzese, Gene Simmons was asked how he got the Kiss phenomenon started more than 5 decades ago. He responded as scientists talk about this kind of thing, and there's such a thing as singularity. Things just happen, and that means it doesn't happen often. Just every once in a while. Oh yeah. And that could be a millennial or something just happens when the planets align. You have the right thing at the right place at the right time. The first right thing at the right place at the right time was when I met Kiss Man Paul, the Stanman Stanley. My lover, my partner. They're not lovers, although your partner could also be your lover, but not in this scenario. Paul Stanley is just the star child, okay? He's not Gene Simmons' lover. Don't picture them making passionate love backstage, smeared makeup all over their blouses. My partner, who knew stuff I didn't know, and hopefully at least he told me. I knew stuff he didn't know. And then 1 + 1 = 3. And then we decided to put together the band when we never saw on stage yet. They said, we wanted to put on the stage show that no one had ever seen before. And it's worth noting we looked at it visually. We wanted to get the songs and everything, but we noticed that the bands we liked, The Who, Jimi Hendrix, The Beatles, had unique visuals. The Who, they wore bell-bottoms. Jimi Hendrix wore a feather boa. And the Beatles wore those little suits. That's not very visual. Had unique visuals so that if you closed your eyes, you saw it. And there were a lot of hits on the radio when if you closed your eyes, you couldn't tell Foreigner was a very good band that had a lot of hits. You close your eyes, you have no idea who's in the band, and you don't care. Okay, I see what he's saying. And predominantly, that's the thing. And I'm sorry my Gene Simmons isn't on point, but I don't know what to tell you. And so we want the visuals to be part of it. And we didn't know what it would become. We didn't know it would become a multi-billion-dollar. Come on, dude. Can't you just have $1 billion? That's got to be multi-billion. Multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, Kiss continues to be everything from Kiss casket. Say it, Gene. Say it, Gene. Kiss caskets to Kiss condoms, because we get you coming and going. Well, he's going to say it. And then he'll say, did you see what I said there? See what I did there? Hold on. Here we go. Let's see it. Say it, Gene. I mean, Kiss continues to be everything from Kiss caskets to Kiss condoms. We'll get you coming and we'll get you going. You see what I just did there? So, once we got Ace Frehley, Kiss guitar player, Peter Criss, Kiss drummer, the two original guys, it's worth noting Paul and I went to see Peter play in a gentleman's club, very small, but where they went and they played in a trio, and the drummer wore Peter Criss. What? And they played in a trio, and the drummer, what the hell is that? Wore Peter Criss, had scarves on, and he was singing Wilson Pickett. Who's that? R&B. Oh, he's going to tell us, R&B songs. He had the right voice and the vibe. The rest of the guys on stage could have been the guys. Where is the stuff about would the band have went on? My God, he's rattling on, guys. We had no manager. Paul and I had a recording contract. Dude, I read it all in Kiss in Makeup. Oh, here he is. Asked if he thinks Kiss would have had the same impact musically and iconically, if not for the makeup. Gene Simmons said maybe not. But there is such a thing. I keep going back to the right thing at the right place at the right time. So he's a smart guy and he knows maybe not. No. It's that time, my friends. Let's get into your comments. I thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. You guys are great, fine people for that. Shane, we got Shane down here, and he's a fine fellow. And I want to say that he knows those fellers from Sink and Stanley and all that. But he says, Mr. Shane, this is also Shane, wishing you well. Hope things are going good for you. Thank you, my sir. It is going good for me. Just a very difficult week. But it was kind of one of those we see it coming kind of a thing. So we had time to prepare a little bit for Mama Diablo going off to Vector 7. But Mike Buchanan coming in here, 69er. Mike Buchanan, 69, he's coming in. On this last weekend before Christmas, too late, I am going to do a great Christmas movie that we love, and probably my all-time favorite Christmas movie, Scrooged, 1988. The missus and I watch this movie every year. Bill Murray, he's wonderful. Scrooged is a merry roller coaster through the holiday, delivering Bill Murray at his snarky comedic best. Murray's charm shines bright, making us root for the Scroogey Frank Cross as he's haunted by top-notch specters. These ghosts? Question mark. They're a visual treat, striking a perfect balance between eerie and entertaining. Yes, I agree. The movie's fresh spin on Dickens' classic tale injects a jolt of modernity into the timeless story, keeping it engaging and familiar yet wholly new. Murray's quips and jokes hit the bullseye, providing laughs aplenty, while carrying the narrative effortlessly. I can't believe I got that out. And I'm frothing up at the mouth. And let's not overlook Karen Allen radiating her usual stunning presence on screen. While not a perfect cinematic masterpiece, Scrooged earned its stripes as a must-watch during the festive season. It's a blend of great humor, impressive effects, and Murray's classic charisma ensures a repeat viewing. So gather around the fireplace, grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and indulge in this delightful dose of classic Murray magic. You need to write for freaking, what is that guy's name? Ebert.com. I say it true. You need to send them a beautifully created email and tell them you want to write movie reviews. And at $100 a pop. You can do it. Mike Buchanan and Marty Friedman fully can understand getting paid what you are worth. But then again, I would say 99% of those associated with Megadeth have been fired over the years. Say something about Dave, I'd say. says something about Dave, I'd say. Yes, I agree. Oh, before I move on, love the flowing locks. Well, I had to show those to you so you guys knew that I was going bald. I mean, it's tough, man. I've always had really thick hair. I had to shave underneath, to kind of let it dampen down a little bit because it's just a monster. Mike Buchanan on Billy Corgan. Here we go again with another. They possibly ripped us off story. Sorry, Shane, I had to pause your video to go listen to both songs. I'm now back to listening to Jive Talkin again. Is there a similarity? Question mark? Possibly. Do both songs sound like each other? No, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not a musician, so what do I know? Well, you know that if you're listening with your ears and they don't sound like the same, then they don't. And that's what you wrote down there. Is that just that? It's just that simple. You don't have to be a musician to go, that don't sound like that. Mike Buchanan on the Gojira was probably the best thing to happen during the Olympics. Well, maybe badminton. Is it Minton? Badminton? Is that really it? Because I call it badminton, like M-I-T-T-E-N, badminton. The Gojira was probably the best thing to happen during the Olympics. Well, maybe badminton might have topped that, but just slightly. So they're boring to watch? Pole vaulting and all that, isn't that fun? What's that, shot put? Mike Buchanan on good on Mark Tremonti. If you have the avenue to help support others, why wouldn't you? I had a young lady just come up to me and okay. I'm glad I saw my family there. Because I didn't want to get into one of your kinky 69 and stories. I had a young lady come up to me and my family the other day while we were eating lunch. She just started talking to us like we were long lost family. Did I turn her away? Fuck you better. Beat it! I'm trying to eat with my family. Can't you see what I'm trying to do over here? No. Did I ignore her? Dude, you gotta ignore her, right? They might be crazy. What if she reaches over and grabs one of your breadsticks? Let's see if she did. Did I turn her away? No. Did I ignore her? No. What did I do? Well, what I usually always do. I started to tell her my bad dad jokes. I have her laughing and laughing. Now, here's where this takes a turn. Oh boy. A man came over to collect her. And he and I locked eyes. And we were both like, hey! Oh, that's an exclamation point, hey. Oh, how the heck are you? Turns out we both worked together many, many years ago. We chatted, and he thanked me for making his daughter's day. See, there you go. That guy could have said, yeah, you remember Mike? Yeah. Yeah, Mike Buchanan, yeah. You know what? My daughter walks over to him while him and his lovely family are eating, and he says, hey, beat it out of, get out of here. So he went back to work. You sent off a positive vibration into the world because he went back to work. He said, let me tell you about that Mike Buchanan. By God, is he a wonderful fella. He's a real people person, I'd like to say. Mike Buchanan on Nico McBrain, you will be missed. Thank you for all those years of incredible music. All the best in retirement. That's a special message for him. Before I get to the jokes, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, wish for you all peace, joy, and love for the holiday seasons. You always got to, when this happy holiday seasons has to end with some kind of a carol. And now it's time for the Jive Talkin jokes of the week. Walking home late last night, I passed a slice of apple pie, a hot fudge sundae, and a lemon cheesecake. I thought to myself, the streets are strangely deserted tonight. Here's the thing that I saw, and now you're going to go listen to this. Brenda Lee rocking around the Christmas tree, it says. And later we'll have some pumpkin pie. Now go listen to it again, and you'll never hear pumpkin pie again. You'll hear fucking pie. So go listen to Brenda Lee's rocking around the Christmas tree, and she'll say, later we'll have some pumpkin pie. But you'll never hear that again. You'll hear fucking pie. Just do that. What do you call a grumpy sheep? A bah humbug. A sheep, a drum, a snake fell off a cliff. Ba-dum-ts. Hey, it just came to me right then. Dear Santa, I tried really hard to be good, and then I got bored. And that'll do it every time, won't it? What do they say? Idle hands. What do they say? Idle hands. Idle hands are the something devil's work? What is that saying now? My wife and daughter said they are leaving me because of my obsession with horse racing. And they're off. And finally, what kind of socks did a pirate get for Christmas? Argyle. Not bad, not bad. Miss Althea coming in here. She's got kind of a quick take on things. We got a couple more down here, and then we're done. And then I can go and use the bathroom. Own those thick, luscious locks, honey. I lobby for an endorsement from a major hair care entity. Pantene. They can give me a wrinkle, and I'll do a video, one of those videos where you're washing your hair and it feels so good and you feel like you're in ecstasy. And then I'll do the combing bit and the blow drying bit for a commercial for them. Miss Althea said on Marty Friedman and the salary situation. I was a little muddled on that story, regardless of the counteroffer and related etc. Was he getting caught up in the converting the whole ball of wax into yen? And no, yen is not equivalent to the US dollar. Oh, she's going to tell us what it is. In today's market, 1 yen equals 65 cents US. That figure was certainly less than 10 plus years old. Okay, so 1 yen is about 65 cents. Miss Althea on Billy Corgan. He hit the nail on the head with, we all rip each other off. To that end, what was the point of the story? And I'd love how you went from repping Billy with a British accent to sounding like Don Maxwell Smart Adams in 0 to 60. Sometimes it just goes, man. It falls apart on me. Miss Althea on Rob Halford, Gojira, Mark Tremonti, Robert Plant. Blabbermouth was obviously hurting for content last week. And while I applaud Tremonti for advocating and supporting NDSS, part of my job is working with a program for adults with developmental disabilities. That's nice. I say you don't mess with the chairman of the board and his classic crooning. Just my opinion. So you're a Frank Sinatra fan. And with the holidays here, Christmas with the Brat Pack... What? And with the holidays here, Christmas with the Brat Pack is basically being played in a loop in my house. So there's a record called that. Because I know who the Brat Pack was. Was Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin part of the Brat Pack? Or the Rat Pack? Miss Althea on Nico McBrain, all the best to him as he eases into retirement. It's not like he doesn't deserve to rest after all these years. Does he know how to play golf? I think Dave Murray and Adrian Smith, they play golf all the time. Maybe he can teach him. Miss Althea says, no love lost between me and Johnny B, who I hope is having a fabulous time on his tropical vacation. That's correct. I didn't see him down here, but he was getting ready to leave on it. And we just agree to disagree on Tool. Okay, yeah. You don't like it. He thinks it's great. Or at least that particular song. If I misinterpreted anything, Johnny can hop on over to Reddit and downvote me for filth. What? He's not downvoting you anything. Everyone's going to go over there and upvote you right now for everything. If you type a word, Miss Althea here, if you type a word with asterisk on either side of it, it will show up as a bold type when the comment is posted or published. Is that where the word looked weird? Is that what you're talking about? There was a word that was weird, I think, and I was asking about that, how you do that. There is your heart. Happy New Year, Miss Althea, and a Happy New Year. Super Strike 9. Now, here's the one we were talking about at the very beginning where I said this technically isn't a request. Now, I also notice he hasn't been reprimanded down here. So I think everyone may have said, I don't know if that qualifies. Because here's what Super Striker 9. Oh, he's got that Pagan Terrorism Tactic, Acid Bath album cover for his thing. 4 hearts received and 13 comments, so you're going to get another heart today, my friend, striking Super Strike 9. Speaking of heavy metal news, it'd rule if you checked out Morbid Saint's new album from this year, Swallowed by Hell. That's a good title. Even better would be if you checked out their first album, Spectrum of Death. I know we've done Morbid Saint, haven't we? At least a song or two. But you see, that's why that wasn't a request. He was just throwing that information out to me. He didn't ask for a specific song. So there you go. That's a heart. Sticky Doll coming in. You can check those guys out. Just Google Sticky Doll podcasts and all that, and you find them. That hair, 10 out of 10. You guys are loving that. Loving my hair. And then who we got here? Oh, Beata. Yep. So put in a couple of requests before. And we got a heavy metal horns and a thumb up. A heavy metal horn and a thumb up and a heavy metal horn. So you're going to get that right there. And, well, I'm going to give you a thumb up, too. What do you think of that? Thank you so much for tuning into this fine podcast that I put out every week. I try to do that. I've only missed 2 so far, but I think they've been for pretty good reasons. So, tell all your friends about the podcast. Tell them that it's really good. And tell them that they should listen to it all the way through. And let's find 1 million people to do that, please. All right? We're going to get out of here with a quick tune. And we're going to say, take care of yourself. Keep your eyes to the skies. I think this year is going to be like no year you have ever seen in your entire life. It is going to be one hell of a crazy trip. Okay? Let's see. I just want to get it right the first time. All right, we're going to take it out with an oldie but a goodie. So don't tune out just yet. Jingle bell, happy new year. Happy new year, honey, baby girl. Jive talking again, my friends, heavy metal news, and it will.